everyone. Today I'm going to be making a video on why should we ban auto rickshaws and not cars. So without any further ado, let's start. So by stating the fact that we should ban auto rickshaws, many of you might be confused that why should we ban auto rickshaws instead of cars, because most people have the solution that we should ban cars, then the problem of the congested traffic would go up. But that's not exactly the case. If you observe on the road, then most of the cars or the rickshaws present on the road, most of them are rickshaws. And cars is a private vehicle which is going from one place to another and is owned by that specific person of that family. But rickshaw is in public transport and we all might be aware of that. But the job of an public transport is to carry a few people from one place to another. So how does only 3 people or a maximum of 4 people can become a public transport then? Because public transport's technical meaning is that it's carrying a lot of people from here to there, like metros or buses, which consist of many people. Which is why rickshaws should be banned, and instead people should use buses and trains instead. Because if we think practically, then an person who can afford a rickshaw can definitely afford a ticket to a bus or a train. Besides, the ticket of a bus and a train is much cheaper as compared to a rickshaw. So what about the taxis, if you might ask? Taxis also have the job of transporting people from one place to another, which is owned by some other person, and people are going from one place to another. But there is one thing which is different, which is that in a taxi, a maximum of 5 people and a minimum of 4 people can sit, which is not a bigger number than the 3 people sitting in a rickshaw, but still each person counts. If we say that, then taxis are doing a much different thing, because they are carrying more people from one place to another. The next point which comes is that since there are nowadays metro trains and other facilities for transportation like buses, trains and many others, then people not exactly need auto rickshaws. One more thing is that cars don't work on diesel and petrol, but they can also operate on CNGs like the rickshaws. If they do so, then they will be also better for the environment. And the next point comes that there should be a limitation of certain vehicles on the roads. I don't mean by trucks or any other things, but there should be limited number of cars and other vehicles going on the road. Now let's talk about the solution for the traffic problem, which is that number one, that if we ban rickshaws, then there will be most of the traffic gone, and people who usually take rickshaw as their daily transportation, they can use metros, buses, and other vehicles instead. And speaking about other vehicles like taxis and other things, they should be limited on the road as well. And one more thing which is not relevant enough for the road is the scooters. Because scooters and bikes are two-wheelers, as you might know. But speaking about the Indian roads, they are not the best ones. And many of the international organizations have proven that by their reports. The Indian roads have a lot of potholes, due to which, if any accident occurs, then the two-wheelers people surviving have a less chance as compared to the people who are in a car. Speaking about the Indian roads, whenever we search about the Indian road on the Google or any other place, we usually get the highways, or mainly the highways which are connecting from one city to another, and not the district roads of the country, which is not a very good thing, because the Indian district roads are much worse than that of the actual roads which are connecting from one city to another, because they are well maintained and they have been developed by good materials, whereas the other roads are not developed with the best material, which is why they get potholes and thus increase the rate of accidents. Many people say that the Indian roads are like this due to our weather conditions, but it is not true, because in other countries like Vietnam, where it rains much more than that of India, still they have good roads. It is because they invest a good amount of money in the materials for developing their roads. Lastly speaking, I feel that the one solution and the best solution for the limitation of traffic in India is just by limiting the amount of vehicles, because this is a solution which Singapore had also opted for a few years back, and there are no traffic on their roads.